Hey, good morning. So we're out here in the city and we're in Washington Heights right now for the 5K. I've got my stuff in my bag right now and we're just hanging out. I haven't really talked about what I want to do in the race or my time. My best time on this course is about 7:11 per mile, but that was in 2020. I know I was in better shape then, and this is also a pretty tricky course. And of course, yesterday we just had our 12-mile run, which some of you may be wondering why I did that. If you're newer here or you haven't been following along, the ultimate goal right now is preparing for the New York City half marathon. So we're just having some fun out here today. It's a pretty tough course. I'll show you one of the hills here now. So that's all part of the course. It goes pretty hard uphill, very, very far downhill at the end, and then it's an out and back, so you have to come back uphill and then downhill again to the finish. So it's a unique and interesting course. I think I do it pretty well just because I'm familiar with the area. So we'll see how it goes today. But it's time to go race. So we're all warmed up. We're about 30 minutes from the race, so the next footage you'll see is just getting into the corral and going for a run.
What is the pace here?
And we're going to end it with you because it's a full circle here. This sounds a good time. Once again, your final command will be on your mark and then the horn. You got this, Mayor?
All right, you're right.
All righty now. Athletes, on your mark.
Who gets stuck in the elevator? Through the start line. How do you feel, my friend? Good morning, runners. As you tear it up here.
Thank you, thank you. Rain for the race, but it's pouring rain now. Oh! Some people still finishing. Gonna try and meet with some people really quick and just beat this rain. Hey everybody, we are back and we are ready to talk about the race today. I've kind of had some time to think about how everything went today, how I feel about it, and overall I'm very pleased with the results from today at the Washington Heights Salsa, Blues, and Shamrocks 5K from New York Roadrunners. It's a very long name, probably unnecessary that it's that long, but it's one of my favorite courses from all of New York Roadrunners, just because you get to be out in a neighborhood, not in Central Park. The course is difficult. I don't know that I love it so much while I'm running, but before and after, again, it's just always one of my favorite races. I'm excited for it and I'm happy when it's over and that I, got to experience it and everything like that. So it started out with a lot of stuff happening in the Armory. We were actually able to pick up our bibs and things there in the morning, and then we got out onto the road for the actual race itself. Now, the course is really hilly, so my plan going into it was to take it fairly easy on the first mile that you go out, because you're generally just climbing uphill very gradually, and then there's a pretty steep uphill followed by a steep downhill that kind of starts your descent into Fort Tryon Park and down to the Met Cloisters, where ultimately you're at like the lowest elevation of the race. And you then have to work your way all the way back up outside of that park for basically the last mile and a half is all just pretty treacherous and relentless uphill, and it's always really difficult. You kind of have to plan around it. You really have to know what you're doing and understand the course so that way you don't burn out. Even just on the downhill thinking you're going to make up a lot of time, if you go too hard you're just not going to have anything left to go uphill again. So whatever my fitness has always been, every time I've run it I feel like I've always done well. Just navigating the course and getting the best that I can out of myself for it. So I feel very similar today with my final time and my splits and everything like that. So my overall time was 24 minutes and 25 seconds, and that came out to an average pace according to New York Roadrunners of 7:52 per mile. Now, this was actually a little bit faster than I thought I was going to go. I was kind of planning to go around 8 minutes per mile. Fitness wise, this is actually a step up. If I look at like the calculator and the app that I use to kind of adjust and figure out where I am as I get ready for the half marathon, this 5K time is actually a step up from the Manhattan 10K not too long ago. So we're moving in the right direction, and the effort today ultimately is showing that I've gained a little bit of fitness since then, as we've been doing more long runs, more track sessions and things like that. So I'm definitely making progress as I go along, thus far. To put the splits on the screen now and just talk about them briefly. Again, I mentioned I went out, relatively conservative, just trying to make sure that I had enough energy for the return uphill. I went pretty hard on the downhill portion, even in mile 1, probably around 7:30 per mile for the downhill. Again, just making sure I conserved enough energy for the turnaround, where I was able to maintain probably around like an 8:15 for the long stretch of uphill. And then after that, you pretty much just do whatever you can to put your foot on the gas. You know that there's that last hill climb, actually, like with about a half a mile left. You just have to breathe really hard, push really hard through the hill, and then it's all pretty much downhill to the finish line from there. So it's a nice finish. The last half mile after you work really hard to get out of the park and then up a big climb, is all downhill, so you can really just let it go and sprint. And I think even my last 0.1 was at like 6:30 per mile. So right around the last half mile, pretty much that whole stretch I was going about 6:30 and just pretty much sprinting the best that I could at that point to get to the finish line and really lock in a decent time. So that's kind of how it went. That's kind of how I planned it out, and I pretty much executed it exactly how I pictured it in my head. So happy about that. Happy about the results, knowing that I ran long yesterday. And there's not much more to say than that. It was a blast. I said I love the race, but I can't reiterate enough. Today was a lot of fun. Got to see a lot of my club mates and things from the New York Flyers. So overall, just a really fun day. So that's everything from today's race. The last thing that I will say, like I mentioned earlier in the week, I was using this race to test out what I'm hoping or hoped would be my New York City half racing shoe. I had not raced in the Alphafly Next Percent ever in my life. I've just been waiting for the right race to use it. I've usually used the Next Percent and the Next Percent 2 in the past, but after using this today, I can say that I am going to use it for the New York City half. It felt fine on my foot. I don't necessarily have an opinion yet of if this is better for me or not than the Next Percent, but it's at least feeling equal at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, use this shoe, and see how it feels over a 13.1 mile race. But with that said, that's everything that I think I had to cover today. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of getting a glimpse of the race. I hope everyone who is out there, I know a few of you have reached out to me already. I hope you really enjoyed today as well as I did. And I hope you had a great race, obviously, as a result of all the work that you've been putting in. That's everything for today. Hope to see you guys all in the next one. Give me a thumbs up if you made it this far. Take care. Hope you all had a great weekend.